And finally, new rule, now that many Republicans have come forward in the last week to finally admit that, okay, you were right, Sarah Palin is a crazy person. They have to ask themselves, what else might I have been completely wrong about all these years? Now, in case you missed it, Palin made a speech in Iowa a couple of weeks ago that cryptologists are still working on. And which I have been holding off on discussing on the outside chance it might be brilliant in some other language. Let's look at a few moments, shall we, to see for ourselves what prompted conservatives to finally throw Sarah Palin under the bus.
He who was the one. Now, with tea time on the mind, and this is to forego a conclusion, right? It's to scare us off and convince us that a pantsuit can crush patriots. It's kind of Orwellian observing how that works, that rule of Saul Alinsky's, no doubt.
Boy, that really brings me back to the 80s when you'd get a chick back to your apartment to do coke and she'd do too much and start rambling and you'd think, boy, I have made a huge mistake here. Now, to be fair, Democrats make huge mistakes, too. Taking pictures of your dick comes to mind. But let's face it, this isn't a 50-50 thing. Democrats can be fuzzy thinkers, but Republicans will look you right in the eye and tell you that 2 + 2 = Jesus. But not anymore with Sarah Palin. The pundits who always defended her have now officially had enough. It was as if the scales fell from their eyes and they were finally able to admit the emperor has no clues. They called her speech incoherent, a farce, unseemly, words that might have truly stung Sarah if she knew what they meant. For example, Matt Lewis, who previously had loved Palin so much he wrote an adoring book about her, penned a column titled, "You Betcha I Was Wrong About Sarah Palin," and said, quote, "Maybe her early critics saw some fundamental character flaw that escaped me." You think? I'm not saying Matt sticks with losers for a long time, but he wrote this on MySpace. But he's hardly alone. Bill O'Reilly compared her to a reality show. Sean Hannity asked, did the teleprompter go down? The Washington Examiner questioned whether she should be included in future Republican events. And Bill Cosby said, I wouldn't drug her with your drink. I made that last one. But hey, we're not here to gloat.
Oh, no.
We're just here to say, didn't that feel good to finally purge yourself of something that wasn't sitting well in your gut? It's like when you're sick and you make yourself throw up, you feel better afterwards. I only have one question for Republicans. What took you so long? The rest of us have been watching this dog eat grass for 7 years. But now that you know that you can do this, what about writing a column called You Betcha I Was Wrong About Climate Change? Might feel good. Germany gets 74% of its electricity from renewables, and they don't live in the future. They're a real country. Turn left at Austria, it's right there. Look them up in a history book, they're always up to something. Or what about giving up on the idea of sending 12 million Mexicans back to Mexico? There aren't enough trains. Ask Germany. And as long as we're in a rethinking mood, you might... No, you know what might be a good one? Middle East invasions. Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria now, Iran, all these places you want to send heroic snipers. Turns out they don't like it. They're just not that into being sniped. And what about the great granddaddy of zombie lies, trickle-down economics? Can't we throw that one under the bus, too? It's never worked, and it never will work for a good reason. Because it's like having 3 dogs and giving a wiener to one of them and thinking, he'll share it with the others.